We go. And you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay, this once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It really means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes, as I try to do every night. A lot of times it goes a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but I always try to go at least 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5-10 minutes or so. So anybody got anything to say, just feel free, fire away, and I'll try. As soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. All right, so please. And it's nice to be able to talk to somebody too, every now and then. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link. Okay, it takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. Each one's got a different logo on it and all of that. Just basically Giant helmets from the past. Now, the older the Giants helmet is, right? I mean, that means the longer it's associated with your name, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get that leather helmet, okay, associated with your name, it means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's also 4 emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th emoji coming out, but right now there's 4. Okay. ID's made up on fire, but they crack me up every time I look at them. You can use them like in a chat box if you're putting a comment or something like that. I said eventually there'll be a 5th one out, but right now there's 4 of them. All right. So again, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not a subscriber on my channel, please go down below, hit the bell icon and the subscribe button. That way, next time I go live or put a video up, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Right now, I'm at 6,183 subscribers. I started 6,150. Okay, so I've gone up 30 subscribers so far today. 6,153. I started the day with them at 6,183. So I've gone up 30 already. Quite possibly might go up 35 or 40 by the end of the day, which is absolutely fantastic. A couple of weeks ago, I hit the 5,000 subscriber plateau. I didn't think in my wildest dreams when I started this channel I'd ever have 5,000 subscribers, but now I got over. By tomorrow I have 6,200 subscribers. So if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. It really means the world to me. It means so much to me. Thank you so much. I said, if you're not, please hit the subscribe button, the bell icon. All right, what do you got to lose? It's free of charge. And then finally, okay. There's also, you go in the description box below, okay? There's 2 more links, 2 more additional links. The top one, the 2 Facebook links, okay? The top one takes you to my Facebook group, okay? It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Now, my YouTube channel, the Facebook group, and the Facebook page is all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can remember my own stuff, okay? Right now, we have over 2,400 members in the group. Okay. I'm putting stuff in there every 7 days a week. I'm putting stuff in here. Okay. I try to post at least 10 different items in here every day. Whether it's like a biography. Like yesterday, I put a biography of Travis Beckham. I don't know if you remember him. He played with the Giants from 2009 to 2012. He tore his ACL. In 2000, I believe it was in the Super Bowl 2011, but he does have a Super Bowl ring. And then the Giants let him go in 2012. So he was with the Giants for a couple of years. He was the tight end for him. So I did a little biography on him yesterday. There's a picture of Saquon. There's another picture here somebody put up from on the Wheaties box of the 1990 New York Giants. Right, they're on the Wheaties box. I got something else here about Julian Love. Let's see what else we got on here. So there's a picture here of somebody put Carr in photoshopped him in a New York Giants jersey, but he's wearing number 4. That's Tuffy Lehman's number, which is retired. So if we were to get Carr here as a quarterback, he can't wear number 4. There's another thing here of DeAndre Hopkins. PFF projects Cardinals trade DeAndre Hopkins to the Giants. That's not happening. I don't know what they're smoking over there. I don't see the Giants giving up draft picks for something like that. But there's a ton of Giants information every day going into the group, okay? And then the second link, okay, the Facebook link in the description box, okay, takes you to my Facebook page, okay, which is called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's very original, I know. Right now, we have 652 people who like it. There's over 3,100 people following it right now. And it's the same thing here, too. I try to put at least 10 different things in here every day. I also put, last night, it was a photo of the 1975 New York Giants. And I gave a little history, a little story to the 1975 season. They finished 5-9. Which sucks, but he compared it. The 5-9 in 75 is more than the games they won the 2 previous seasons combined. 1973 they were 2-11-1. 1974 they were 2-12. So the 73 and 74 New York Giants won 4 games. 1975 they won 5 at least. 75 team they also played in Shea Stadium where they were splitting their time with the Jets because that was the Jets' home stadium. The Giants only played their home games, if you want to call it, in Shea Stadium for 1 year, because in 1976 they opened up Giant Stadium. There's all kinds of other videos in here. There's a video in here from the Giants and the Seahawks. There's Otoman Fox making a big tackle late in the fourth quarter. Giants are down by 2 touchdowns, but on third down, Toman Fox came in and made a good tackle. Forces a 4th down, forces the Seahawks to punt the ball back to the Giants, where hopefully he could get a chance to get the ball back. But then there's something else here from Adam Sandler, the longest yard, making fun of Jalen Hurts on his Hail Mary attempt. What freaking joke that was. All kinds of stuff I'm putting in here every day. And I don't commingle the two. So whatever, basically, for the most part, whatever I put in the on the page does not go in the group. Whatever goes in the group does not go in the page. So if you go to that link for the page and you like it and you become a follower, and you go to the group link and you become a member, between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. I said, I'm putting stuff in there every day. It's 7 days a week. It's not a job. I mean, because obviously, I love doing this. I do this. Obviously, I would do it for free, which I am. But I mean, I mean, so it's not a job, but it's every day. I'm spending a couple hours every day putting all kinds of stuff in there. So go to the group and the page, and you'll get a ton of New York Giants information every day. Now, with all that stuff out of the way, I kind of think, the Giants with the Daniel Jones, okay. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Now, I mean, a lot of what you can go by, is you can't blame Shane. I can't blame anybody. I mean, obviously, a lot of it nowadays, you're looking at, man, if we just picked up that 5th-year option, it's all guaranteed, but, instead of paying him like, whatever, 37, 38, maybe whatever, we'd only have to be paying him 22. Looking back, man, if we just picked that up, man, that would have been pretty good now. I mean, there's good points and bad points to it, okay? If you picked up the 5th-year option, okay, it's only 22, as compared to, I mean, say he signs a contract for, say, 37, okay? The thing is, with the 22.5, I believe it was, something like that. You got to forgive me. I don't remember exactly, but it was over 22. That's all guaranteed money. Okay. So if that 5th-year option, boom, that's guaranteed. That goes right to the salary cap. Okay. So, there's no, well, let's take the 5th-year option and let's try to work out, let's try to, work a deal out where we can maybe you give him a signing bonus here and take that salary cap and bring the cap hit down and it will get some money on some of the other years going forward and this, that, no, that's $22.5 million. Boom, right at the salary cap. Okay. So the Giants they got like 43 or 44, 43 and a half, I think it is. So you take that 22 and a half, so now the Giants have 21. Okay. You got yourself a quarterback for a year, and it's all guaranteed. Okay. But it's the 22.5 million. It's coming right off. Okay. The flip side of that, okay, is that if you sign him to a long-term deal, right, say 5 years, right? Now you hear all these numbers. People want like 4 or 5 years, but they keep hearing a lot of things like the Giants try to make it where the Giants can get out after 3, just in case he maybe keeps getting injured, or just in case maybe this was a 1-year wonder. Or, I do want to say it's a 1-year wonder, but for what was protecting him, the offensive line, okay, which at time was a little brutal, okay, and what he had to throw the ball to, okay, he did a pretty good job. I mean, was he MVP candidate? No, obviously not. But I'd like to see what some of these other quarterbacks would do with what Daniel Jones had. So I mean, Daniel Jones did very well. Got to give him credit with what he had to work with. Okay. As I said, bring this up all the time, because I despise the Eagles. Jalen Hurts had a very good season. The Philadelphia Eagles, without question, were the best all-around team. Offense, defense, the frickin' lines, their offensive line, defensive line, frickin' phenomenal. I mean, 2 stud cornerbacks, 2 stud wide receivers. Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's I don't think he is top of the top, very tippy top of the quarterback. I don't think so, but very good quarterback. Dallas Goedert, very good tight end. They're a solid freaking football team. Okay. But I mean, if you put Daniel Jones in the Eagles offense, right, his numbers are probably going to be a little bit better, right? You take Jalen Hurts and put him behind the Giants offensive line, okay, and have him throw it to the Giants wide receivers and tight ends, his numbers are going to come down a little bit, right? So, things are kind of relative. But if you worked out a deal with Daniel Jones, right, say, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it winds up being, there'll be like, might be a team option year in there for the 4th year, or it might be, try to make it where it's friendly for everybody, right? After maybe a 5-year deal, but there might be an out after 3, a team option from the 4th year. If the team don't want him no more, they can get out, or a player option in the 4th year as well, too. Maybe they can re-sign it. I mean, if Daniel Jones keeps playing well, keeps stepping his game up each year, gets a little better. Maybe after 3 years, maybe they might have an option, right? Maybe redo the contract, right? Because if Daniel Jones is only making 37, well, I just, say he plays 3 real good seasons. Yeah, we went 3 good real seasons. I got some good numbers there and all. I'm worth a lot more than 37. Maybe they can redo the contract, right? But just saying, it's a 3, 4, 5-year deal. What they usually do in the first year of the contract, okay, is say he goes for $37 million. Just throwing a number out there, okay? What they try to do in the first year with almost every contract is they give him a signing bonus, okay? That way they get cash in pocket, okay, which makes the players very happy, okay, but it makes the teams, GMs, very happy because they can split that signing bonus up into up to 5 years, okay. So it takes the salary cap hit of the first year of the contract, brings it way down, right? So I mean, quite possibly, the Giants would have the salary cap hit the first year if they had a long-term contract with Daniel Jones might be $22 million, right? And it may not be all guaranteed either, right? So, I mean, there could be like all different kind of, pass for 1,500, pass for 15 touchdowns. Okay, you get $1 million, bonus. Or I mean, there's all kind of incentives in there, which jacks up the yearly average, right? If he hit, throw for 3,000 yards, right? He did that last year, right? Throw for 3,000 yards, Daniel, you got another $1 million. Throw for 15 touchdowns, you got another $1 million. I don't know, whatever. Run for 500 yards, you got another $1 million. Something like that, which gets the yearly average up, right? So, I mean, the first year of the contract, man, isn't going to be all guaranteed, right? They take the cap hit and they try to bring it way down. So, I mean, so it's kind of like, probably the cap hit would probably be identical if they picked up the 5th-year option or they signed him to a long-term contract, 3, 4, 5-year contract. That the first year would be probably cap hit would probably be pretty much identical, except with the 5th-year option, okay, it'd be all guaranteed. All right. The contract, it may not be all guaranteed, right? The other thing too, okay, would be if Daniel Jones really does well. Say we get, we get a couple things for him. One, we get maybe another offensive lineman, right? Maybe we get a good center or another guard or whatever, something. Or Zito comes back and starts doing good, or Lemieux comes back and doing good. So what we'll have, or Evan Neal takes that first, takes a little bit of a jump in the second season. I'm not saying it's going to be a Hall of Fame material, not like that, but can he stay healthy? Does he work on his craft, get a little bit better, take a little bit of a step forward like Andrew Thomas did, right? So then we have an all-pro Andrew Thomas, and we got Evan Neal who took a little step forward. Mark Kowinski did a decent job, not a phenomenal job, but a decent job. I mean, say we get a nice center in the draft or a nice guard in the draft, something like that early on, and we put him in and they do good. So say we get him a better, offensive line, right? We get him another weapon, right? Early on, second round, third round, even the first round. It'd be interesting to see where they want to go in the first round, right? But say we obviously, we really want to add a weapon, right? So we add a weapon. So say Daniel Jones does better this season than he did last season. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, really hard not to do better. He played 16 games. He threw 15 touchdown passes. I mean, that's not, But say he does better, right? Say he throws for 22, 23 touchdowns, right? Keeps the interceptions down. Say he does well. Okay. Well, if the Giants sign him to a contract this season, okay, for 37, all right, if they picked up his 5th-year option and he balls out, well, when next year 2024 rolls around, it's time to do his contract again, okay, or it's time to do a contract. He's like, I just had 2 really good seasons with Brian Daboll. I'm in the system for 2 years. Next year, I'm going to be in the 3rd year of the system. Maybe Kafka's here, maybe not. I don't know. But, Coach Daboll's got the best coming out of me. I tell you what, we added another weapon. We might get another weapon this season coming up. You know what? I mean, tell you what, I'm thinking low to mid 40s. I mean, that's run. We went to the playoffs 2 seasons in a row. We won playoff games back-to-back seasons. Haven't done that in a long time, right? When was the last time the Giants did that, right? This year I'm over 4,000 yards, 23 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, had another 650 yards rushing, 5 more times. I mean, I had a pretty good season. I did, let's get that into the 40s, right? So if they sign him now, I mean, this year to a contract, a long, 3, 4, 5-year contract, it's going to be because he only has, if you want to say, 1 nice year on his resume, right? If he has back-to-back seasons on his resume, well, that's the asking price is, going to go up, right? So, but I also saw this too. This was kind of fun and interesting. I saw somebody was comparing Mitch Trubisky's record with Daniel Jones's, right? And you start thinking, are you going to pay Mitch Trubisky $35 to $40 million a year? Hell no. So it's kind of like, why are you going to be paying Daniel Jones $35 to $40 million? I mean, Mitch Trubisky, his career record, he's 31-24. He has a winning record. Daniel Jones, 21-31. Okay. Daniel Jones is 10 games under 500. Mitch Trubisky, 7 games over 500. Okay. Mitch Trubisky has 11,900 yards passing in his career. Okay. Daniel Jones has 11,600 yards. Daniel Jones has 60 touchdown passes. Mitch Trubisky has 68. Although Mitch Trubisky has played a couple more years, but I mean, his past 2 seasons, he's just been kind of like a backup core. He's only had 5 starts in his past 2 seasons. Okay, he had 5 starts this past season with Pittsburgh. All right, so I mean, but so most of his damage is done his first 4 years with the Bears. But the first 4 years with the Bears, 3, even as bad as the Bears were, all this stuff. 3 of his 4 seasons with the Bears, Mitch Trubisky, as much people making fun of him or saying this about him or that or whatever, Mitch Trubisky, 3 of his first 4 seasons with the Bears had a winning record. Daniel Jones with the Giants, 3 out of 4 seasons had a losing record with the Giants. Okay. But Mitch Trubisky has 68 career touchdown passes, 43 interceptions. So he has a few more interceptions. Then Daniel Jones got 34, but Daniel Jones only has 60 touchdown passes. Okay. Now, Mitch Trubisky has more interceptions, but Daniel Jones has got a boatload of more lost fumbles. I mean, let's see. Daniel Jones, for his career, fumbled 42 times. Apparently, they regained fumbles that were covered by a player of the team. So he's lost 32 fumbles, Daniel Jones. So you got 32. Oops. And going up. All right, so he's got 32 and let's see, 34. So he has 66 turnovers in his career. 66 in 4 years. Okay. Not extremely impressive. Mitch Trubisky, let's see, has lost 13 fumbles. Okay. 13. All right. So he's 13 fumbles. And what the hell did I say? Mitch Trubisky has 56 turnovers. So Daniel Jones has more turnovers than Mitch Trubisky, right? Mitch Trubisky has more touchdown passes, fewer turnovers, more passing yards. But I'm saying the last couple of years, he's just been a backup quarterback. But, he has a winning record, right? And people, if you wind up saying, would you give Mitch Trubisky $40 million? Huh? So it's just a bit odd for, I seen that. It's kind of funny. It's like Mitch Trubisky is like Daniel Jones like type numbers, and Daniel Jones is asking for 35 to 40, 45, whatever he's asking for, and Mitch Trubisky is like riding the pine on somebody else's bench. But I mean, certainly there's the pros and the cons. Yeah, it would be nice if they picked up his 5th-year option, but also all they can go by is the evidence that they have. They have no idea that if Dable comes in and starts giving him a nice game plan to work with his talents and all that he was going to take a step forward. We don't even know he's going to take a step forward next year. We hope he is, but we don't know that for sure. But I mean, all you can do is go by the evidence that you have that to view. And I don't think anybody in their right mind would have picked up Daniel Jones's 5th-year option. But as I was going over, the cap hit for this year coming up, 2023, whether they picked up the 5th-year option or not, if they can sign Daniel Jones to a long-term contract, 3 years to 5 years, it's not going to be ain't no Patrick Mahomes 10-year deal. But if they get a 3 to 5 year deal, whatever, without having to put the franchise tag on him, right? So if they can come up with a deal, okay, this year for Daniel Jones, his cap hit is going to be almost identical as probably what it would have been if they picked up the 5th-year option. And I said, and the 5th-year option would be all guaranteed. I don't know how much of his first year is going to be guaranteed. So that I don't know. So there's pros and cons to it, but I mean, quite possibly if the Giants can work out a deal for him, 3 to 5 year deal, quite possibly it might wind up actually saving the Giants money in the long run, right? So if they get signed to a $37 million deal this year, instead of if he does well this year, he might want 42 next year, 42 or more. So it might work out for the Giants' favor if they did wind up turning down his option. So it is what it is. But then there's also, I was kind of thinking like there's some guys that, going to start getting put on notice. Okay. I sort of picked out kind of like 9 guys. There's obviously you're talking Giants. There's a ton of guys that you're talking injuries, right? You're talking about, but there's like 9 guys. All right. That I'm kind of like, they better be on their P's and Q's. They better take their Flintstone vitamins. They better start playing and trying to do whatever they can to stay healthy. Okay. The first 5, I'm going to say the Fab 5. Okay. These guys are all tied with Shane and Dable. Okay. So, they're going to have, I'll give them maybe, 3 swings, right? Sometimes 3 and you're out, right? So since they were drafted by Dable and Shane, right, and all that, the first 5 I'm going to go over, obviously, right, are the ones that they drafted, okay? They'll give them a little more slack because what they saw, what they wanted to bring those guys in and build a team with and all that, they're going to give them maybe a little more slack than guys from other regimes, okay, who they have no ties at all with, okay? So the first 5 guys I'm going to go over are all the guys that wind up on injury reserve. Now, whether it's their fault or not, or this or that, McKeithen, he injured himself in the game they had at the Giants Stadium. I forgot what that one game, the early on game that they had. The Fan Fest scrimmage they had, he tore his ACL. He's a late round, 5th round pick, I believe it is. He's just trying to, hopefully maybe be, I don't know if they had visions of him becoming some type of a starting offensive lineman. I don't really think so, but maybe some depth. But, right. He's got 1 strike on him. Okay. Then you go to Darian Beavers. Okay. Now he injured himself. Okay. I believe it was in he tore his ACL. Okay. It was against the Bengals. Okay. That was that's when Thibodeau got hurt. Beavers tore his ACL. He was out for the season. Okay. He was having a very good preseason. Things were looking up where he was going to wind up being on the field, hopefully a lot and all and everything. But once again, whether it's, his fault, their fault or not, or whatever, because your best ability is your availability. Okay. Then you got DJ Davidson. Okay. Let's see. I forgot exactly when. Okay. He won injured. So at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so he played in 5 games, Green Bay. All right, and he was out the rest of the season, injury reserve. So against the Ravens, he was already on injury reserve. Okay, that's 3 guys. Then you got Azudu, the poor guy with his neck. Now you kind of thinking he made it through almost half the season. Okay, he had injured his neck. All right, he was going in. He was questionable against the Lions. Okay, so he must have injured his neck against the Texans. But against the Lions, he was questionable. But then after that, against Dallas, he was out. Commanders, he was out. And by the end of the season, he was on IR. Okay, so you got Davidson, we got Beavers, right? And McKeithen. Then we go to Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay, now this guy, he caught 1 pass against the Titans, I think for 5 yards, and he got injured. So then he caught 1 pass. He spent the next 4 weeks out with a knee. Okay. Then he was questionable with the knee. against the Ravens. Then he actually played a couple games. Right? And then against the Lions, he went into the Lions game questionable with a hamstring. Okay. Then after the Lions game, his season was over with. Okay. He was, so he was injured multiple times. Okay. He's another one of those guys. I hate to say the Kadarius Toney kind of thing or whatever, but once again, your best ability is your availability. Now these 5 guys, okay, who all wound up the season on injured reserve, going to get a little bit of the benefit to it because they were brought in by Dable and Shane. They think these are the guys, kind of quality guys they might want to help build the team with and all and everything. Okay. But once again, your best ability is your availability. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson had a whole, let's say 1, 2, there was only 4 games this season where Wan'Dale Robinson was not on the injury report. Right. He was either out, he was questionable, he was or he was on injured reserve the rest of the games. So it was only 4 games he was not posted on the injury list. Okay. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, you don't want to give up on talent, but if you're not available to play, right? So he's got his work cut out for him. McKeithen, hopefully he got injured really early. So hopefully he'll certainly be back, hopefully by training camp and all this year. Okay. But once again, especially with him, I mean, he's a late round pick. I think a 5th round pick. The guy's got to stay healthy, right? Beavers, late round pick. Okay. But, he had a very good training camp. Things were looking very good for him. But once again, he spent the whole season on injured reserve. Got to stay healthy. Azudu, okay. I think he was a early round pick, 3rd round pick. Possibly to have some visions of him, maybe taking over at one of the guard positions, maybe kind of give him a year or so or whatever, right? Put him in there. But once again, right, if you can't stay healthy, right, then we got DJ Davidson. Okay. Notice that not all of these guys also aren't like, a 1st round pick or not. I mean, obviously Wan'Dale Robinson, you want him to, he's a 2nd round pick. You want him to stay healthy, but right. But I mean, Davidson, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So he played 5 games and he was out the rest of the season. Okay. A late round pick, supposed to give some good depth to the interior defensive line, which he did. Right. He's not Leonard Williams. He ain't sexy Dexy. That's not happening. But he's somebody who's young who can take up some snaps, okay, and do a decent job. All right. But once again, he's got to stay healthy. But these guys will get a little bit better of a benefit of the doubt because Dable and Shane brought them in. Guys who aren't going to get benefits of the doubt, who might be on their last legs here, last chance. Okay. They're standing in the batter's box with 2 strikes on them. Okay. And they got, Jacob deGrom firing a fastball at him. All right. Let's see if they swing and miss or not. These next 4 guys, okay, without question. All right. The last one might shock you a little bit. All right. But these next 4 guys, without question. All right. Shane Lemieux. My God. Past 2 seasons, 56. He was only on the field for 56 snaps. The last 2 seasons, I'd say, I mean, he has they have no ties to him whatsoever. I mean, he was taken in by Judge, right? They have no ties to him whatsoever, okay? 5th round pick, okay? But the past 2 seasons, 56 total snaps. He can't even make it through training camp without basically injuring himself for the whole freaking season. He partially tore his patellar tendon in 2021. And in 2022, he had, I guess, like a turf toe, I believe it was, or something. He tried to come back, and he played in 1 game against Detroit. According to Pro Football Focus, he graded out a 29.4. He had 24 pass blocking snaps. 24 pass blocking snaps. He graded out at a 0. Okay, and there's 24 pass blocking snaps. So he's out there in the middle of the pond. The ice is about an inch thick, and he weighs 17,000 pounds, right? He might be going under, right? Good luck, Shane, okay? The next guy, Aaron Robinson, okay? Guy's got to stay healthy. I mean, 2021, he played 200. He had the core muscle injury when it basically coming out of the college. He had a core muscle injury, right? So he wound up missing. Is that 2021? Oh, which one we got it? Yeah, 21. He missed the first half of the season, 2021. All right. So then basically weeks 8 through 18, he basically played almost pretty much every game, but he only played 268 snaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's 9. So he played basically, but he averaged about 30 snaps a game. But I mean, some of these games, I mean, the last game of the season, he played 8 against the Commanders in 2021. Week 16 against the Eagles, he played 2 snaps. I mean, so, and then this past season, he played in 72 snaps. He graded out very well, according to Pro Football Focus. He graded out a 74.3 overall. His tackling grade was very good. His coverage grade was a 73.2. I mean, very, very good. But I mean, let's see. Aaron Robinson, where the hell is he at? Where is he at? Okay, there he is. I mean, first game of the season, he wasn't designated, but then he had his appendectomy, okay? And then, let's see, what that's 2012. Okay, well, how many games? What are he playing this year? This year, he won 2 games. Okay, he played, week 1 and week 4. Week 1 against Tennessee, played 62 snaps. He graded out very, very well. Then he played against the Bears in week 4. Okay, he was in there for 10 snaps. Once again, graded out pretty well. Okay, so he played 72 snaps. Okay, he had week 1, then he had the appendectomy, and in week 4, then he was out the rest of the season. I mean, and once again, he's not a Shane or Dable guy. They have no ties to him. Do they want him to work out? Absolutely. But the guy has got to stay healthy. I mean, got to stay healthy. Then we go to Ellison Smith. Remember this guy? Was he even a Giant? Was he on the team? Yeah. Once again, absolutely no ties whatsoever to Shane or Dable. 2021, I mean, he played 107 snaps. Now, a lot of it is also is because of his availability, but also because I guess maybe the talent level. He's not a starter. And all right, Ellison, you're the starter. You're going to play 75% of the snaps. Now, Ellison, we're going to put you in a little bit here, a little bit there to if Azeez needs a blow, or maybe Oshane Ximines needs a break or something, we'll put you in there, whatever. But 2021, he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He played in 6 games. He had played 107 snaps in 6 games. This past season, he played 14 snaps. Well, let's see. Ellison Smith. What else you have? Alphabetically, there he is. He was on injury reserve. Then he was out against Achilles against the Commanders, and then he was on injury reserve against Minnesota, Indianapolis Eagles, Minnesota, and Eagles. So he was only available for 4 games. He started the season on injury reserve, okay, and he ended the season on injury reserve for 2 different injuries, 2 separate injuries. And as I said, same things like last season, 2021, he was injured a lot too. I mean, the guy, once again, no ties whatsoever to Shane. That guy has got to stay healthy. He's got the length, 6'7", right? I mean, I'm sure he needs to add maybe a little bit of weight, maybe a little bit of strength to him. He played for Northern Iowa, so not maybe the best of competition, but he did very well against that competition. But 6'7", nice size. It'd be a shame to see him. But once again, if you can't stay on the field, dude, you're worthless. Totally worthless, right? Then the last one who's got to stay healthy, okay? It might come as a little bit of a shock to you, okay? Who has no ties to Shane or Dable, Azeez Ojulari, okay? I mean, last season was just one injury after the other. The first year, 2021, he played. It looks like he played every game. He played 781 snaps. He had a lot of sacks. He had a very good season, but once again, that was with Joe Judge. Okay, what Shane and Dable say with him when he's on the field, when he's healthy on the field, is a phenomenal athlete. I mean, Man, he looked like he was shot out of a freaking cannon some of those snaps when the quarterback would drop back the pass, snap the ball. Man, he was crossing. He had he had 5.5 sacks, I believe it was, 252 snaps, 155 pass rushing snaps. He had like 5 sacks. So basically 1 out of every 30 pass rush, he got a sack. So basically he was on par, if you want to look at like about a sack a game. Because you figure that, say, the other team, well, probably throw the ball even more than 30 times. But every time he's on the field for 30 pass rushing snaps, he would get a sack this past season. I mean, did a phenomenal job. Couldn't stay healthy. Can't stay healthy. And, let's see what else we had there. Let's see. Ojulari, where are you? Okay. Now, with his calf, right? He was doubtful with the calf the first week, doubtful with the calf the second week. He was questionable with the calf the third week. He had no injury designation the fourth week, okay, against the Bears. Then he was out with the calf against the Green Bay. He was doubtful with the calf against Baltimore. He was out with the calf against Jacksonville. He was on injury reserve against Seattle, injury reserve against Houston, injury reserve against Detroit, injury reserve against Dallas, and this also threw it in here to the bye week as well, okay? Then he came back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he played 4 games where he had no injury. Some kind of miracle happened. He had 4 straight games where he had no injury designation. Then against Indianapolis, he was questionable with an ankle. Then against the Eagles, okay, he was out with an ankle. Okay, then against the Minnesota in a playoff game, he had no injury designation. And then he was questionable against the that's because when he came back, okay, against Minnesota, he got hit by Cousins. Cousins apparently kicked him in the quad, I guess accidentally, of course. But that caused a problem and made it where he wound up being questionable for the final game against Philly. So, I mean, he had a calf, then he was on injury reserve, then he had an ankle problem, then he had a quad problem. I mean, he injured his calf running sprints, I believe it was, in preseason. I mean, soft tissue injuries, right? Calves, the quads. I mean, guys got to stay healthy. I mean, it's nice. You want to have those 2 cornerstone edge rushers, but this is his 3rd season going in. Okay, going in. I mean, after his 3rd season, they see something in him where they can maybe extend his contract. He'll be eligible. Okay, but I mean, if they goes through another season like he just did, right? He's they can't count on him. I mean, he missed almost most of the games this year. As I said, what do you have? 252 snaps the whole season. That's all he played. And he was so good, you wanted him on the field. But he was 252 snaps. I mean, basically, that's 3-4 games, tops. 3-4 full games, tops. Couldn't stay healthy this past season. So I don't know if it's because he added on a bunch of muscle or exactly how he's trying to take care of his body or whatever, but he needs to do something, to talk to somebody or something, because this season was was beautiful in one respect, because when he was on the field with Kayvon, we had a nice pass rush going on there, something you can just see happening for years to come. But that was very few and far between. So Azeez Ojulari, him too. Okay, he's got to watch himself, right? Because I said, especially if they have no ties at all to this regime, right? If you have no ties to Dable or Shane, you're walking on eggshells, right? So those guys, they got to stay healthy. Well, guys, it's been 44 minutes. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this? Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really, really means the world to me. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.